Hi, Jeremy.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi. Good. How are you?
I'm good. I hear myself echoing towards you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm using my cell phone
Yeah,
for this.
I see that. So
Yeah.
how this is going to work, Jeremy, is I'm going to hit the record button. Welcome
Sure. I'm ready.
everyone. Today I have Jeremy, and so I'm going to let Jeremy take it away and start sharing his story with you guys. Welcome, Jeremy.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. My name's Jim. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I'm about 30 years old. I work for DHL as a delivery driver, and yeah, I'm Jewish, and I have an INFJ personality type. And I got involved with disability advocacy a couple of years ago. Um, I've dealt with disability most of my life in school and work, and I've a number of neighbors, relatives, and friends who are disabled either intellectually or physically. So
What is
that's what.
your what is your disability?
Yeah. So for me, it's autism and bipolar.
Autism and bipolar.
Yes.
I didn't know those two could see. My fan base teaches me something every day. I didn't know autism and bipolar could mix. I've heard autism and autism only. I didn't know how bipolar could play into it.
Yeah.
So, how are you coping with the bipolar? And for those of you guys who don't know what bipolar is, by and Jimmy, correct me if I'm wrong. Bipolar is mood swings to the 10th degree. 1 minute you're happy, the next minute you're angry, and so how does autism and bipolar mix? Oh, I guess they don't mix.
Well, yeah, I think the learning problems and like the autism was first, and then that kind of led to the bipolar depression uh, and manic episodes. So, yeah, for a long time I went like undiagnosed and untreated, and that was really hard. But I take the Zoloft now, and I got the TMS treatment, transcranial magnetic stimulation, and that seemed to help me uh, fairly well. So I'd recommend that for
When did
depression.
you get diagnosed? When did you reach your breaking point and try and get diagnosed?
Yeah, so I didn't get diagnosed formally with autism until I was 29, but I had like learning disability diagnosis like at a much younger age, and you know, a psychiatric diagnosis when I was a teenager. Um,
Wow.
so,
Wow. So you didn't get formally diagnosed with autism until you were 29.
right.
And how how has it been accepting your two disabilities at older age? Because I know people that on the autism spectrum that get diagnosed when they're young, so they might not have a recognition of yes, I have autism.
Yeah. So yeah, it takes a long time to kind of figure out what it is and how to deal with it uh, yeah, when you don't get the diagnosis at a younger age. So uh, yeah, I had to do a lot of research on my own and like find the right doctor and medication. And yeah, it can make other areas of life like difficult besides just the like daily emotional struggles and like episodes of like acute depression or feeling suicidal, but just like getting along with people in school or like holding down a job or like even getting a job with a college degree can be pretty difficult with those disorders.
So, um, what what in the workforce are they looking at? Are they looking at, and I hate to be blunt, are they looking at more the bipolar side, or are they looking at the autism side?
I think it's more the autism side that they look at, and usually I don't disclose my disability at work, and yeah, the bosses are generally pretty accepting of that. Um, although I did have one boss years ago, one of my first jobs, who said, "Well, just don't like feel nervous or anxious at
Well,
work," and like
that's
that's
not going to help.
yeah, like,
Not
that's
going to
just
help.
not realistic. Um, and then um, yeah, the coworkers can be a challenge as well if they don't believe in mental illness or take it seriously. I know a lot of people have faced like difficulty with coworkers who've been autistic or bipolar and lost their job. And I've had a couple coworkers try to get me like fired from my job for whatever reason. Like um, I hadn't done anything wrong on the job, but they would accuse me of being on drugs or whatever. So I'd get a drug test, and um, I've also been arrested by the police one time because they accused me of being high just because of the way that I talk or like, my expressions that they
Excuse me.
felt that I
Excuse
was on drugs.
They felt that
So
you were on drugs? Good
yeah,
God,
like the
Smallwood.
only
How
yeah,
down to how down to earth do you have to be to say, "I have autism, this is the way I act. I have cerebral palsy, this is the way I act, now deal with it."
yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, I just tried to deny it, but they wouldn't have it. Even when I was taken to the hospital and the nurse did the blood test and she said his vitals are normal and I appeared to be completely sober to her. But what's I gonna say? Uh, yeah, it's hard to deal with the police as a disabled person. Um,
Oh, yes, it's hard to deal with EMTs as a disabled person. Trust me, I've had to deal with EMTs. Last stint was for my father who had onset of a disability himself, and yeah, that was a fun one. Um, and so I want to ask you this: what is your favorite audiobook?
Audiobook. Uh, I guess the Bible. I mean, that's that's the same answer I wrote in written format for Danielle, and they're like recordings of the King James version by James Earl Jones, which is pretty good to listen to.
Yeah. And so if you had to move, what would be your 5 things that you would take with you?
Okay, 5 things. Uh,
Yes.
yeah, I thought it was 3 things, but um, yeah, I said I would take my car. That'd be one thing, and then I said like I would take people with me, like my
Yes, people
family,
come.
if I can do that. Uh, see, I said take a handgun for protection and my cell phone.
So communications, protection,
Right,
your family, and your vehicle. Well,
right.
I would say those are pretty good, that's a pretty good list there, Jimmy. And what is your morning routine?
Yeah, so I usually wake up fairly early, like 6 a.m. or so. And yeah, then I just take my shower because that helps me to wake up, and always eat breakfast and do some light exercise to get ready for the day. And yeah, then I go to work at DHL where I'm currently working.
And so if your best friend had to write a book about you, what would the title be?
I just said James a memoir would have been uh, what I go with. I had a couple different suggestions when I asked friends. One said, um, like a man with ideas for like changing the world. Um, Tale of an unconditional friend. That was kind of another friend to say that, but
And tell an unconditional friend. Yes, because what people don't know is disabled people, and I don't know about you, but certainly know about me. We are unconditional friends. We stick to our tribe like there's no tomorrow, and we go to the 10th degree for our tribe. But when we get pushed, and then that's it.
yeah,
And so, as we wrap this interview up, do you have any questions for me?
sure. Yeah, I think I wrote in a couple questions. Um, like one was just what you envision the future to be for disabled people in our society as we continue to make progress and
Well,
um,
I envision the ADA to be the Americans with Disabilities Act to be a little bit stronger than it is now because of, and I hate to get political, but I will say this, because of who's sitting in office. I mean, who's sitting in office doesn't go towards the disabled, let alone women, let alone anyone that's different than him. So I hope to see for the future of the disabled that number one, they continue to make progress with the Americans with Disabilities Act because that's why you and I are sitting here talking, and that's why and applied by DHL. And because of all the progress they have made before us to get us stable jobs if we choose to do so, and get us happy and healthy.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess I have a couple ideas that I would see coming in my lifetime. One would be the genetic reengineering. I think that could help. I mean, anyone, honestly, but particularly disabled folks. And then there's that singularity that Google is working on that they say they'll be done with in 2040. Like this AI and cyborg technology, I think that would help disabled people a lot. Uh,
AI AI, artificial intelligence
right.
technology, has already helped the disabled so much, and AI will continue to help the disabled.
Yeah. So, yeah, like you said, we have the ADA, which I think will be strengthened under the president elect. And I think, just with people like us who are involved in like disability activism, I think we're
Yeah.
going to continue like changing the culture in a positive way that's like more inclusive for
Oh, yes, we are.
disability.
We are,
So,
because we have to for the next generation. We have to. The generation behind us, we, and I don't know what year you were born, but we, the generations ahead of us and the generations behind us will have it better off than we did.
yeah, I think so.
And yeah, so Jimmy, where can people find you, and where can people get a hold of you if they want to do so?
Sure. I'm on LinkedIn and I'm also on Instagram and I have a YouTube channel as well where I can
Okay,
be.
we'll have all that information in the show notes, you guys, and we'll just keep hugging along, and you guys just make this world a better place for the disabled, and make this world a better place for DHL drivers. I know that all DHL drivers, including Jimmy, are struggling right now because of the pandemic. And I
Mhm.
know that shipping and receiving is struggling. And I know that every driver out there is um, struggling, wondering what their next move is, when their next paycheck is. So if you guys could help that in any way that you can, that would be great. And especially those with disabilities holding a job, because those with disabilities have more challenges holding a job than able bodied do. But all in all, let's make this world a better place for the disabled. You guys, thanks, you guys.
All right. Thank you.